Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, I would appreciate everyone. It takes like a millisecond. God, click the thumbs up button, drop me a comment. Let me know you're in the live stream, what you're up to today, and make sure that you click all notifications on that bell icon to know when I go live each and every single weekday. And I will remind everyone on the live stream later on when more people join, but special guest tomorrow. So make sure if there's any live stream that you're going to tune into this week, make sure that you tune into the one tomorrow on Wednesday. I'm going to have Kush on. I just tweeted this out. A Twitter buddy of mine, really good guy, really nice. Had a chance to catch up with him yesterday. We were on a call for I thought it was going to be about 10 minutes. We were on a call for about an hour. So, really nice guy, great conversation. This is not definitely who I wanted to tag. That is, this is an imposter account. We're doing this live. Oh, fuck, that really pisses me off. Son of a bitch. You're getting this live. No, he's on here. What's going on? Oh, did someone... I don't know what I just clicked on, but... I don't know how I clicked on his account. Okay, this is the real Kush. I don't know what just happened right there. I'm not really sure. But this is Kush. Really authentic. Again, people that I'm aiming at the moment to bring onto the live stream, I'm right now aiming about once a month. I'm aiming to bring people on who will first off are authentic and genuine in nature. They seem like kind people. They exercise logic and education over emotion. They add value to the space. Those are the people that I'm looking to bring on the live stream. It doesn't matter if they agree or disagree with the majority of my own personal viewpoints. But I like bringing people on that I think add a lot of value to the space. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Like I said, if there's any live stream you're going to tune into this week live, make sure that you tune in tomorrow, because I'm sure we have a lot of things that we're going to cover, but I'm sure that we will allow enough time for a Q&A session. So make sure that you tune in. You can pick his brain and ask him all sorts of questions. It's good to hear a different voice besides mine, as beautiful as my voice is. I need to protect my voice, which is a totally different conversation. But anyway, you have no clue what I mean by that. Anyway, who do we got in the live stream? We got Josh. Let's fucking go. Guys, today's live stream, by the way, you can follow me on the Twitter Xverse. You can follow me on YouTube, even the Instagrams, as I always say on my TA videos. And TradingView, it's one word. Whoop, Crypto Bull God. I got my little funny things I do, right? By the way, I don't know if you get notifications on my channel. If you don't, what's wrong with you? But you should have gotten a notification today that there was a new video put out, which I need to make sure that I tweet about. I made a mistake. I meant to put this video out on Wednesday. I've been striving either like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday thing. It sounds like my weight training program when I started out at the age of 14. That was my weight training program, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If I missed Friday, I'd go Saturday. If I missed Monday, I'd go Sunday. I was always very regimented about it. But there was a new TA video released. I would say it's the lowest view count that I've had in a long time. Not really sure the reason for that, but it is on Solana, so make sure that you check that out. So make sure you check out that TA video. But what I wanted to do, where I was going is, because tomorrow we're going to have a guest speaker on, I wanted to allow enough time today to really answer any questions that you have on crypto. It could be traditional markets, it could be crypto, but any charts that you would like me to cover, I'm turning the microphone over to you. I want you guys to ask questions and ask away. Josh, if you're the only one that's going to speak up, feel free to throw 3 charts out there, because there's really nothing that I had planned on covering. Looking at the markets right now, you can see there's a lot of red in the market. And when we're seeing a red day like this and you're seeing things correct, there's at least some of you who are saying, CBG, are you sure you're so bullish on the end of this year and going into 2024? Are you sure you're bullish? Because I'm feeling a little PTSD from the 2021-2022 collapse. Yes, I still am monumentally bullish in terms of the price action that I'm anticipating coming in towards the end of this year, going into 2024. Actually, I'm anticipating a large movement up, as I've been speaking to, on Bitcoin, leaning towards this month, but we'll have to see if it doesn't happen, and maybe it'll happen in September, but I'm still expecting that green Jesus candle to come in. So yes, despite the volatile nature that we are seeing in red on crypto, I'm still anticipating bullish momentum picking up here. Let's see what we got. GME. Boy, we haven't looked at that in a while. I have GameStop on here. NASDAQ is down a point. Guys, my eyes have been glued on my work computer for the past, I don't know, I feel like I haven't gotten away from my desk in the past 2.5 hours. So this is the first time looking at the markets really since about midday. So this is all new to me. What would be interesting to take a look at? Wow, ApeCoin is down 11%. Yeah, I saw Alchemy Pay at one point was down like 8%, and I was like, I wish I had more capital on the sidelines to purchase some up. That was one asset I was looking at today to purchase. I was also actually looking at Caspa earlier today, getting close to that 3.7 cent area that I was speaking to, and I was like, I already purchased I have a decent amount of Caspa at this point. So if we continue, let's take a look at Caspa real quick. We're gonna get into HBAR actually. I can chart gold and silver. We can certainly take a look at that. You're gonna laugh at me, Josh, but I'm trying to think the ticker symbols. Just comment what the ticker symbols are, because I can't even think of the last time I have charted gold. I'm gonna say gold and silver. Is gold AUG? Yeah, it's been a while since I've looked at the ticker symbol. Silver, SLV. I honestly forget. So just drop me the tickers and we'll definitely take a look at them. I'd love to do something a little bit different. But the interesting thing on Caspa, I was looking at a lower time frame on this 2-hour chart, seeing a little bullish divergence come in here. This is the golden buy zone that I had communicated out earlier this morning. We started dipping down here, and I told myself, hey, CBG, you got enough Caspa. No need to purchase any more. You want to make sure you're well diversified and you have a decent chunk. But I will tell you this. If we start to pull down into this lower range and we start pulling into this 3.532 zone, it's going to be hard for me not to pull the trigger and just get just a wee bit more. Thumbs up for everyone new tuning in. I would appreciate the support. It takes a moment. It is it's GLD. I knew that. I feel like a fucking idiot. GLD and SLV. Okay, I knew that. Sometimes I always say this. At least I've said this before when I've been on the live stream here. This is live. Okay, there is a little bit of a delay in terms of what you're seeing, but do you remember that scenario where you would get called on in class and you'd go up in front of the chalkboard and you had to write out a math problem, and like you could do the math problem at your seat, but when you're in front of everyone, you sort of freeze up and you're just not thinking correctly? That's the scenario that I just ran into here. Like, I know the ticker symbols for gold and silver, and I feel like a fool for asking. Koinos. Cold Fire. Hi, TBG. Well, Cold Fire, first off, to ask a question, you're going to have to get the name right. I am not the thankful bull god, although I am very thankful. I'm thankful for many things in my life. I am the crypto bull god. Could you chart Koinos? Well, Koinos was actually, interesting that you bring Koinos up. Koinos, that was actually a church that I used to belong to when I lived in the Northeast. That was a very good church that I used to belong to. That's kind of weird. Koinos, or whatever the heck the name of the church was. It was actually a really nice church. Let me take a look at a couple things here and I'll get to your questions. I have no idea what Koinos is, but we're going to take a look at it, Coalfire. Yeah. All right. Caspa, just covered Caspa. Oh, H-bar. Wanted a really quick hit on H-bar because we're getting a lot of bullish momentum to the upside. Now, something I had tweeted out today. If you're not following me on Twitter, this is the value that I can at least add to your news feed in terms of if you're just looking for, again, logical content in terms of technical analysis. When I'm not tweeting out gym music I'm listening to. Where is Kathleen? I need her to enforce the thumbs up. I really need some help on the thumbs up. So this is what I had tweeted out earlier today for H-bar. Again, you can be monumentally bullish on a project, which I am. Guys, if it's not clear to you, I'll zoom up on my profile photo if you don't believe me. So I'm monumentally bullish, but what I'm pointing out is the RSI, there's no one indicator that will tell you with 100% certainty anything. But it's a caution flag. The RSI is overextended. We actually just covered this yesterday. We're poking our head above 70. It is increasing the likelihood that we will see a correction. It doesn't have to be today, but over the coming next handful of days. And so you have to ask yourself, if we're going to see a correction, where would we pull back to? Well, the most logical first area to pull back to would be a roughly 6.2 cents. Could we dip below 6.2 and go to 6 or 5.9? Sure, we could. But roughly, we're not getting too cute on this channel. Roughly 6.2 cents, okay? Thumbs up for everyone new tuning in. And you can see on this daily candle right now, this actually is not the most pretty of candles. Prettiest of candles. Yeah, so what the story of this candlestick is, okay, it's important if you're going to be a good technical analyst and you at least want to have some solid abilities to read fundamentals on a chart, just fundamental key things that are important in a chart, there's a few things you have to be able to do. You have to know what candlesticks are telling you. You have to be able to read price indicators. But one of the most important things is you can look at a candlestick and immediately it tells you a story. The story here is that we opened at 6.5 cents. We went all the way up to 7.6 cents. There was a ton of buyer exhaustion. A lot of sellers came in. That's why we're seeing this huge volatility wick. We really don't want to close like this because that is not a bullish candlestick. We have this really small, teeny tiny, I was going to make a joke, but it would not go over well if there are certain people in the audience. I'm glad I held back on that joke. There's a little teeny tiny, use your imagination. There's a little teeny tiny green body here and a huge wick, okay? So many jokes going through my head right now. Wow. And so this is not a bullish candlestick, right? And if we close similar to this formation, sort of reinforces the idea. Again, as much as I love H-bar, I love the project, we're going to see a pullback. We should see a pullback, right? And again, just to reiterate, this is my profile photo, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, okay? Clearly, I am bullish on Hedera H-bar, okay? But I'm just reading a chart and telling you what it's saying. I was also looking at the H-bar BTC relativity chart. Looks like I have some sort of a falling channel here, it looked like a falling wedge at broadening wedge at one point, depending on the time frame. But you can see we're getting rejected by some areas of resistance here on the relativity value. Also looking at the H-bar ETH chart, this isn't the most bullish chart, to be honest with you. It's losing a lot of value relative to Ethereum, as most altcoins are. But we are in a falling wedge. Depending what descending line you're looking at, we are in a falling wedge. So at some point, it actually wouldn't surprise me if we just focus on this formation for a moment. It wouldn't surprise me on H-bar at some point if we do see a break to the upside, which I would suspect when bullish momentum truly comes into this market. On this chart, I would lean on the side of seeing a huge breakout. I hate that TradingView constantly changes where some of their indicators are located. I cannot find this fucking arrow, and it really, I gotta watch it. Channel's monetized. Can't swear too much. YouTube doesn't like that. There used to be an arrow right in here. Then they fucking switched it. God damn it. Can't fucking stand that. So what you do is you take it from the widest point, okay? the widest point down to the base here. That's how you measure it. And then it's really at the point of breakout. So if we don't break out, let's say until like December, this would be the point of breakout. So hypothetically, what you could see on H bar, is it roll over again here, kind of flatten out. And if we break out here, you could see some initial target up in this range, which actually it's kind of funny because there is price confluence at that level, guys. Look at this. It's red for resistance. So actually the technical target kind of lines up with some resistance there. So interestingly enough. But you find that the more you chart, you actually find that once you start drawing technical targets for patterns and where prices are initially going, you do oftentimes find that they do line up very well with other areas of price confluence. Kind of funny how that works. Ricky, glad to see you in the live stream. What's up, brother? Scan QR, buy the dip. That is an interesting name, my friend. Let's go to the moon. Hodl. Yes, let us all go to the moon. I need something in my office that is representatory of going to the moon. I have a lot of cool stuff in my office. I'm very like neat and tidy. I don't want too much clutter. I don't have too much clutter in my office, but I need something representatory of going to the moon. All right, guys, let's get into your questions because I really didn't have anything else monumental to share with you. So I want to take your questions. So I'm going to take them in order. So first, I have a great question coming in from Josh, who is a longtime supporter. I can't believe I have no saved charts for gold or silver. That's very surprising to me. Really? That is hilarious. All right, we're going to pull up a chart of GLD. Maybe I'll start with like a 2-week index. We've definitely looked at this before, as you can see. I just haven't saved the chart, which is funny. We're going to save this because I wish, you know, if somebody wants to make money with a creative idea, figure out something with TradingView that you can easily clean up your charts, because it's driving me fucking nuts when I go in here and I want to load a layout. Look at all these layouts I have. I have way too many layouts. Like, I need to clean all this stuff up. It is just like too many charts. Matthew's got a question coming in too. Great. Glad to see some questions coming in. We will get to your questions. We have enough time today. Today is all about your questions. Your questions. All right. So this is on a 2-week chart. I wanted to condense price action. Kind of first thing I wanted to point out here, which is still in play, we have some descending resistance. I would draw it like that. You can see touchy here, multiple touches here. Okay. We have several areas of resistance here that we're currently battling with. In terms of areas of support, we'll get the price indicators in a moment. In terms of areas of support, yeah, I like that area right there. Main area I want to see hold on gold. Looks like it's at 176, 176.5. 176.5, and we're sitting at 176.59. Now, if we break the 176.5, where is another area, an obvious area of price confluence? I would put it right about here at 170. So really on GLD, what I want to see hold, pretty simplistically stated, I would like to see the 176. Is it 176? Am I misstating this? What the hell line is this? 174. Why am I saying 176? That's where price is currently at, I guess. Yes, 170. We're at 176. I apologize. I'm misreading the chart here. Really, the main area of support I want to see hold on GLD is between 174 and 170, this green range in here, okay? And we have several areas of resistance that you can kind of denote above. Of course, I would actually draw another area now that we have more price data since we've last charted this. The idea when you're drawing areas, there's a couple different ideas when you're drawing areas of support and resistance. One of the main points is that the more areas of price confluence that you have, the better the area is to draw in there, right? So the fact that I'm drawing this and we have a touch here, 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 and multiple touches here, okay, it's at 189. So all these areas are areas of resistance. Again, this is a 2-week chart, a little bit of a higher time frame. This has been around for a long time. You can see all the history of the price data back here. We've gotten a cross down in the MACD, which is not good to see. That is not good, not good, not good. RSI is at 50, relatively neutral. Will you get off? And stochastic RSI is above 20, but we have a negative cross down, and the momentum is to the downside. So a lot of the price indicators are either neutral or turning slightly bearish here. Kind of coincides with the idea, by the way, that I had indicated sort of a pullback, healthy pullback in the major indices in the stock market that we cover here, the S&P, NASDAQ, and Dow Jones, guys. One of the things we covered yesterday is I think we looked at a 2-week chart. You know, we had like 7, 8 consecutive green candlesticks, which means we had like, 18 to 16 consecutive green weekly weeks, at least on that 2-week chart, right? So we've had this strong impulse to the upside. So it would be very healthy if we kind of pull back, create a little bit of base where prior resistance was at. Let's create that as support and let's just continue moving up. It looks like I'm giving a weather forecast. But that's what a healthy trend does. People who can't, it's funny because as my learning style has changed over the years from becoming a fundamental, I was talking about this with Kush yesterday, as my philosophy in terms of investing has changed from a fundamental investor to someone who predominantly just relies on charts, it just amazes me, even if you're looking at fundamentals, I don't know how you decide. If you can't read a chart, I don't understand how you're making a decision on when is a smart time to buy or sell. Like, I have no idea if you can't read a chart, how you're making those decisions. I would be lost without a chart. Let's take a look at silver, the Silver Trust. And thank you, by the way, Josh, for these questions. It's nice to get away from traditional markets and kind of assess the relative health of gold and silver. Okay, this one we haven't looked at before. This is kind of funny. We're going to save this one so we don't have to pull it up in a blank chart. And I'm going to close out of some of these H-bar views. I'm going to close out of the Ethereum I touched on before. I'm going to keep that open, actually. All right. So silver, again, this is a 2-week. One of the things that kind of sticks out to me right away, Josh, we have this ascending line of support, and it looks like, depends how aggressive we want to draw this. Also depends. See, the funny thing is when you flip time frames, it really changes your perspective, right? Because now, based on a weekly, we could do this and say the trend was, to some degree was lost, right? But there's all sorts of ways that you could draw an ascending line. For purposes of our conversation, what I would say is there is still a general uptrend, although that's an aggressive uptrend. There's still some level of an uptrend, even though I don't have touches all the way here. The whole point of what I'm trying to show you is so far, very healthy trend, right? We've gotten these higher lows and higher highs, right? Now, the more we begin to invalidate this ascending line and we come down to here, if we were to come down to like 1840, okay, well, maybe that's a double bottom, but if we lose 1840, now we're starting to get more bearish because we're entertaining the lows back here in September of 2022, right? So what we really ideally want to see on this chart is and it's the same thing I communicate to you guys on any chart. ideally we want to continue to see higher highs and higher lows printed on this chart, right? So let's kind of talk about a few areas of support that we want to see hold on the silver trust here, all right? Clear area of support right there where we last bounced. I'm not even going to look left to see what other price confluence we have. I want to hold this area at 1840. Moving up a little bit, I'm identifying another obvious area, kind of right where we are. I mean, it's really a zone. I might draw it like that, because it's really a zone. It's 20 bucks, okay? So it'd be nice on the silver trust, Josh, if the $20 level would hold. If 20 doesn't hold, I really want to see 1840 hold, because if we lose 1840, again, now what we're talking about is we're increasing the probability of further downside towards these prior lows from mid to late 2022, which we don't want to see, okay? Another thing I would point out here, something else that is very evident, stuck out to me right away. I would draw it like this, maybe. Sort of have this descending area of resistance here. So you can see we have multiple touches here, a touch here, and then touches here, right? So really what I'd love to see is for price to break out of this descending area, invalidate this prior lower high relative to this one and this one, kind of come back test this area, and then continue moving up, which would invalidate these other lower highs, right? The more we continue to invalidate lower highs and get above them, it increases the probability we'll just continue moving higher. What other areas of price confluence will we have a struggle with on the way up on the SLV? This is a clear area of resistance right here. I would actually draw this a little bit lower, right about there. That's at about, we're going to call it 24 bucks. Okay, we're sitting at, what are we sitting at, 2067? We're sitting at 2067 right now. $24 is going to be a major area of resistance. Let's get above 24. Once we start pushing above 24, next area looks like it's 25. Okay, we're moving in single dollars here. 24 and then 25, right? So here's the story I'd like to see ideally. I want this region to hold. We're thereby creating continued higher lows. I want to bounce up. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough getting through here. Okay. So we're going to come up here. We're going to entertain this area, kind of consolidate, and then just continue moving higher. That's ideally what I want to see, because again, also we're creating higher highs, and we're invalidating. We're going to continue to invalidate those other lower highs to the left. So that is what I see on the SLV, Josh. And as far as price indicators, real quick, cross down. I mean, same sort of story as GLD. There's not much difference. 48, we're a little more oversold. Same thing on the stochastic RSI, yeah. So, all right, what other questions? I know there were a few other questions on here. Great, I have some more questions coming in. This is good. Keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. Koinos. I don't know what Koinos is. Koinos? Like I said, Koinos was a best church I ever went to. Actually, the only church I ever really enjoyed going to. Okay, this is market cap ranking 721. Never heard of it. Let's see here. Let's take a look. By the way, I am enjoying a red blend, and it is from you guys probably know the vineyard if you're into wines. It's just Josh Cellars. You can get that. You can get that anywhere. But it's a good wine though. Koinos, huh? Think of the church I went to. What's the ticker symbol on this? Coin? Okay, not a lot of areas to get this project. Not a lot of price action. Okay, but you know what? I like what I'm seeing in the chart here. Who asked this question again? This was Coldfire, who called me the thankful bull god. Coldfire, good question, good question. And you know what? I like this chart. This is a good This is a good pick by you. Nice work. So let's talk about areas of support first. If this is a truly strong trend, okay, and we're really going to see further upside, we are not going to roll over. First off, this is your green support range, okay? We're talking about anywhere between 50 and 47 cents. If I round these figures, 50 to 47 cents needs to hold for me, okay? The other thing I wanted to point out, though, is look at this huge spike in volume. Volume precedes price. Look at this huge spike. If this was a true move up and not just some sort of dead cat bounce or not some sort of lower high where we're just coming in here and we're just going to fucking roll over and then just build more lower highs and just continue going down. If this is the true start of something more significant to get up to these higher levels, we're not going to go below the base of this green candle. Okay, there's a lot of volume that came in here. So I do not want to get down to 50 cents or 47 cents. I don't want to see that. Ideally, actually, I'll give you a price level that would be nice to hold. Ideally, there's a lot of price confluence right around this area. Right around, I'm just going to put it there, be a little more conservative, 54 cents, okay? I would love to see price action come down and stabilize in this area and then just continue bouncing up, okay? 54 cents. All right, now, what about areas of resistance? Well, there is a clear area right there. How did I draw that one? I mean, I think you guys can see this. There's a touch here, a touch here, a touch here. I know we have candle bodies through there, but there's too many touches there for it not to be prominent. And we're going to call that 78 cents. Okay, so we got 78 cents as an area of resistance. In terms of other areas of resistance, I would just use the wick of this. 72.6, was that the high here? 72.8, okay. So that's your main cold fire. That is your main zone of resistance between 72.8 and 78 cents. Now, once you start pushing above 78 cents, I wouldn't get too cute with drawing other areas of resistance. I would just look at the all-time high, which is at 94 cents, okay? And then once you break 94 cents, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to be in a what's called a blue sky breakout. It's the best thing that you can be in when you're in a project and you're invested in it, because what a blue sky breakout is exactly as it sounds. It's moving into territories where price has never existed. Sky is the limit. So that is the place that you want to be. The only other thing I would point out in this chart, okay, descending resistance, right? So we just want to make sure, again, we're not going to roll over and create new lows here and then start doing this, right? We can do this, bounce in this area here and come up and be challenged here, but eventually I want to break it, back test, and continue higher. Price indicators, I don't know how helpful they're going to be, honestly, because the price data is pretty immature. Not a lot of price data here. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a ton of price data, but the price indicators look good. RSI is at 56. It still has plenty of room to the upside. Stochastic RSI looks good, and the MACD looks good. So, good project. Thank you for bringing it up. What else do we have? Why am I flexing? Love the emoji scan QR. Appreciate that. It's a very unique name. Matthew B. Matthew Broderick. My favorite movie, Matthew, that you were in, absolutely without question, was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That is one of my, it's a cult classic, by the way. If you haven't watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like, who are you? You know? I've been in Shapeshift Fox for months. It finally broke out today. If this gets moving, what are long-term targets? So, Shapeshift, that's interesting. Shapeshift, am I confusing? I think I'm confusing people. Never mind. I was thinking of who was responsible for that project, but I think I'm thinking of the wrong person. Shapeshift Fox, rank 639. Interesting. Well, let's take a look at it. Oh, wow. Shapeshift is on Coinbase? Am I thinking of the same guy that created this project? Wow, 1.9 cents all the way up to 4 cents. Wasn't this... No, wait, let's go down here. I want to read about the project. I feel like I know who started this project, the guy's name, and I have a picture in my head of what he looks like. But I'll look into this later. We don't need to get into that. Let's get into the charts. Interesting. Well, great. Was there some sort of announcement today that it was Eric Voorhees? That's his name, yes. And I should remember Voorhees because of not Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. That's what I always think of when I hear his name, Jason Voorhees, for all you Friday the 13th fans. Was this just announced that it was listed on Coinbase? It's my only thought. I see that's listed on Coinbase and I wasn't aware of it. So, huge move today. Wow. So far, okay. Now, a lot of projects when they ICO, they do look like this. Okay. Right now, this thing looks like a dumpster fire, right? We're getting strong. Now, you can see, let's just forget about that price history. You can see we had an impulsive movement up here from 2.5 cents all the way up to 5 cents. We doubled here, and look at it. It just rolled over again. Now we're getting another move from 2 cents up to 4.6 cents, right? So the question you have to ask yourself when you're evaluating a chart like this is it more or less the same? Like, what's going on here? Is it going to be the same as here, or is there a reason to believe this could be something different, right? So let's take an honest look at this, because when I just zoom out, this does not look attractive to me one bit, right? Now, that's not to say that we couldn't be in the midst of a trend reversal, but we need bullish confirmation in order to feel positive that that is occurring, okay, that there's a high probability. Your emotional opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you like Eric or the project or whatever the case is. That's your emotional side, right? That's the fundamental stuff, which is great. That's the emotional side. But the chart is going to tell you the story in terms of what's really going on. And so far, it's been a dumpster fire. So we have to see if there's truly a trend reversal going on here. Now, this is a 3-day chart. Let's take a look at areas of price confluence here that should act as support if we're bullish. First off, we have an area right there. We shouldn't even come down to here. Again, same comments as before. You see the volume coming in here. If this thing rolls over and comes all the way down here, it's not a good sign. If we come back down to 1.9 cents, not a good sign, okay? So the level ultimately, when we do correct, because we're going to correct, okay? We're not going to remain up at these levels forever. You could see it, over the next course of the couple days. Don't misconstrue my words, okay? I'm not telling you that tomorrow or Friday or Monday you couldn't see a wick go higher, but this thing is overextended and more than likely is going to come down lower and correct, okay? Don't chase the trend, all right? What are some other areas that once we do correct, we want to see it gravitate towards and hold? Well, there's a region here. There's unquestionably a region here that I will help you identify. And this is the region. So if this thing is strong, and I would actually draw another area right here. So if this area is strong, once we do pull back, we can come back. By the way, who asked this question again? This was Matthew, right? Matthew Broderick. Matthew, come back to the live stream. We'll take a look at this, not next week. Actually, another announcement. Next week is going to be a rough week. I am traveling for business, so I really don't know that I'm going to be able to live stream at all. It fucking sucks, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. So, Matthew, come back in like 3 weeks and ask me to update this chart, and we'll take a look at it. But my golden buy zone that I typically do on charts, once we do scale back, okay, I would look for this region. I would want prices to come back, right? They can even wick up here, but I want them to come and settle in this area before continuing to move up. There's no way in hell I'd be buying this thing right now. Now, areas of resistance. Well, clearly the wick here is telling us something, right? And if we look left, which is how we also identify areas of price confluence, appreciate everyone new tuning in. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If we look left, it's no surprise that we wicked to this area here, because when we go to the left, we see a wick through there, touches here, like this is a major area of resistance at 4.6 cents, okay? Next area of resistance would be, I'm going to guess 5 cents, right? Yeah, it's like 5 cents, okay? And then another area would be, I might actually increase that just a tad right there, even though the wick didn't touch it. So these are your major areas of resistance we need to clear and get above before I start to have some confidence in this chart. We need to get candle body closes on the 3-day above this region, which ultimately is 5.7 cents. So we have 4.6, 5 cents, and 5.7. Once we get a candle body up in this area, closing, I'm not talking a price wick, I'm talking a candle body. It closes in this region. What is the story? This is what's important from an educational standpoint. I don't want to just tell you areas of price confluence and you can just jot notes down. I want you guys to learn something from the channel. Why am I saying that once we clear and we close up here that it is it's instilling a level of confidence that we haven't had before? Because all of this price action is negated. It's all now in the past. It's in the past, and that's our floor, and we've created it as support, and we're going to continue moving higher. And now what we can do is focus on all of this shit up here, okay? And we can continue drawing lines of confluence. That's why. So that's what I would focus on. Thank you for the question. Good one to chart. It's been on Coinbase for a long time. Yeah, I never noticed it was even on there. So, let's look at the relative strength index. Sometimes there's bullish divergence on the RSI. I mean, there's a little bit of bullish divergence on the RSI, but not much. You can see the RSI is increasing as price is just going flat and actually down. I mean, there wasn't tremendous bullish divergence, though. I've seen bullish divergences that look a lot stronger than that don't even play out. So, you're welcome, Matthew. I'm glad you found it helpful. Let's see. Thorchain. Oh, you're welcome, Josh. I didn't see your comment. You're welcome. Ricky Dos Santos. Did I pronounce your name correctly? You have a question on Thorchain, huh? Well, we can certainly take a look at that. Thorchain. Fun fact. I don't know what just made me think of this. Fun fact. I cut my own hair. Did you know that? I don't know. If you're a new subscriber, CBG cuts his own hair. Thorchain, we've taken a look at this one before. This is Rune. Yeah, we've definitely taken a look at this. Yep. Okay, so Ricky, I appreciate the question on Rune, which is Thorchain, ticker symbol RUNE, Rune, okay? This is one we looked at in the past. I bet you we were down in this area. I spoke to, look what's going on right now. Now, we're on a 3-day. My guess is maybe we were looking at a weekly. Maybe we were looking at a 3-day. No, we were definitely looking at a weekly. So we evaluated this on a weekly. This is very bullish what's going on. Let me explain why. The last time we charted this, we were definitely here. We were somewhere in here. Now, why do I say that? Because these two areas were drawn as areas of support, and we since fell below there. So there's no way we were charting this when price action was back here in June and July. We charted this shit sometime around May to, November. Somewhere. Maybe we charted this on my former live stream, the Bitcoin Crypto Happy Hour or the Bitcoin Crypto Weekly Close. That is possible. Those were my first attempts at live stream. And then I just said, screw it. I'm going to go live every single day, and it's called All in the Charts because I believe everything is all in the charts. News follows charts, not the other way around. Now, what I have depicted here has been working out beautifully. Because the first thing, when I pull up this chart, the reason I'm excited looking at this chart, all of this downward resistance has been broken. Now, this is a weekly candlestick that broke above it. This isn't a daily candlestick. This is a weekly view. We have weekly descending resistance, and we have bullish confirmation that we closed above it. And so far, we're holding above the descending resistance. Ding, ding, ding. That is bullish. You can see on the level up here, I'm not going to redraw things, $1.74 and $2 is our next area of price confluence that's going to give us a little bit of a problem. 260, 312, and then we have these other areas of resistance here, okay, that we're going to have to, this downward resistance we're going to tackle. Let's take a look at our price indicators to see what's going on here. Again, this is a weekly view. Woo! MACD, we're positive, but. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Not too big though. Now, the trigger line is 0, right? So we have a bullish cross on the MACD, but the 0 is our trigger line. So we still, to get even more bullish, we need this thing to cross right here above 0. But the histogram, look at the histogram picking up. Poking up? Look at the histogram picking up, okay? It's getting dark green. It's picking up in momentum, which is great. Great to see. RSI is just shy of 60, very healthy. I'm excited by this chart. We could be in the midst of a true trend reversal. Now, the strength of this will somewhat depend, in my opinion, based on the strength of the market in the coming handful of weeks here. The lows that were set in for altcoins this year, it is my belief, okay, those were the lows that were set in. I'm not in the camp of some prominent YouTubers out there, and I will not name their motivation. Maybe we will talk about this tomorrow with Kush. But I am not in the camp that we're going to have some DeFi collapse and we're going to see altcoins making new lows this year. I do not believe that, okay? So given that we are going to see some true bullish trend reversal to the upside here, that will certainly help our chart. But what I would anticipate is we're going to get rejected initially in this range, come back here. We even could come back as low as here and retest this descending resistance, create support. What happens in that case? I've spoken to it plenty of times. When we do that and we hold it as support, it acts as a springboard and we continue moving up. So the main punchline is I could see this thing going as high as about $2, but more than likely we'll get rejected. We'll face a little bit of resistance. We'll consolidate a little bit. Then we'll start pushing up towards this 260 to 312. Glad you brought up that chart, Ricky. Great question. All right, guys, I do not see any other questions in the live stream. Before you tune out, very, very important special announcement for tomorrow. If there's any live stream that you tune in, make sure that you catch the live stream tomorrow. I will have a special guest on. A lot of you guys know this individual, Kush. I'm friends with him on Twitter. Make sure you give him a follow. We will be here around 5:15 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. I'm turning the microphone over to him just like I did with Tony. I'm going to let him say his piece. I'll interject as needed, but it's his opportunity to kind of to share some information with everyone, and everyone will hopefully learn something. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Click the bell icon for all notifications. If you haven't already, stuttering around, if you haven't already, make sure you drop me a comment, express appreciation in some respects, or even just to say hello and hit the thumbs up button. All right, everybody, take care. Have a good evening. And until next time, share this video with at least one person. Get it out there on Discord or Twitter. And until next time, spread awareness and let's all carry the education forward.